Welcome back to another Wheel Wednesday, where I spin the wheel. Yada yada, the whole spiel I do every week. Today's Wheel Wednesday prompt was from SlimeCORE, who gave this prompt like day one of doing Wheel Wednesday prompts. So, finally got selected. The prompt being egg. So, egg. I was originally going to do a creature inside the egg, but eventually, as you'll see, or technically probably already have seen because the thumb, whatever, I do not do the creature. Why? Well, prompt never said anything about a creature, and two, having an egg with nothing in it is more mysterious. Yeah. And it's definitely not because I put all the detail in the egg and it was like, yeah, it looks cool enough. That's definitely not the reason, for sure, definitely. I'm already out of things to yap about, I'm gonna be real. I looked up pictures of cracked eggs, and then I proceeded to look at them for 3 seconds, and then close the tab. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. I also steered away of doing the creature, like, just because I was thinking of this design as I was doing the egg and of the creature, and I did not like it. Mostly with the pose. It just felt weird to have like a standing thing in an egg to me, because typically they come out of eggs. Well, they as in things that come out of eggs, not walking very well, especially when they're bipedal. Then they just kind of squirm on the ground for a bit. So I find it unlikely that a humanoid would be coming out of an egg walking already. Also, this egg is like way too large for that creature. Typically, when I think of eggs at least, I think of whatever baby's inside of them growing to the size of the egg and then breaking out and not doing whatever this sketch design monster is doing. So those are the reasons I didn't do the monster. I also went through a couple design, types of the egg, where at first it looked kind of like scales, and then I smoothed it out to be more chicken egg-like, / bird egg-like, I guess. I mean, most eggs seem pretty smooth. And I went with a hard shell egg and not one of those soft shell eggs, just because it feels more egg-like to me. Big, seen mostly chicken eggs in my life kind of guy, you know? So that's what I think of when I think of egg. I just kind of do random cracks. I did not think about it too hard. I did not think about how eggs actually crack. You know, I could have, but I closed that tab of eggs. So I didn't. And I refused to go back to looking at those cracked eggs. Not out of principle or anything, it's more because I'm lazy. And also the art's done, so it doesn't matter anymore. I do eventually try to make it more interesting than generic egg. Mostly with some weird texture choices. But that is not for a while. I spent so long on this egg. For it just being an egg, at least, I feel like I spent a long time. That being just under an hour. Which, compared to my other artworks, that's comparable. But for just an egg? That's how you know I put a lot of effort into this egg. Or that eggs are secretly really hard to draw, but I don't think it's that one. I'm gonna be real. I mean, I guess going with the cracked egg might up its difficulty quite a bit, but, eggs don't tend to be that difficult. And the thing I'm doing right now, I should maybe kind of explain it, because it is hard to tell what it is, but like darker bit near the crack that I just finished, that's not the inside of the crack, that was supposed to be like a folded up bit of egg. Because originally when I was gonna do the monster, its hand was gonna be pushing it up. And at this point, I was still thinking of doing the monster. You know, halfway through this. Until I get done with this inner egg part, then I decide to scrap that idea. Just because I thought that this inside design would be more interesting than a actual creature, and it would leave the mind to wonder what was in there previously. Just don't let that sketch of the creature influence what you're thinking was previously in this egg at all. Just don't do that. That'd be very nice for me. Because, you know, imagination is way more interesting than anything I could draw. And also, if you can imagine more things than just one in here, multiple different types of creatures coming out of the egg, like that's pretty big win for me. I feel like I just had a weird word salad, but whatever, I don't go back and edit this. And also, I like don't have time to do that. So I don't and won't. At least in the near future I won't. I can't say what'll happen in the future. Like far future. Near future though, I'm pretty certain it won't. Here's some of the weird texture I was talking about earlier. Just with like little spots and weird lines near the cracks. Well, I guess near the innermost giant crack. Not really the smaller ones. All the dots are near the smaller ones though. That's, you know, just egg texture stuff. I also on the top do sorta veiny, spirally lights and darks. I don't know, I just thought it'd be more interesting. And it also goes with the inside of the egg that I did. Or at least I feel it does. Being that weird, holy, sinewy texture thing. And now I'm putting it on a rock because it just floating in a void, you know, doesn't make sense. Because gravity and all that. Yep. And this part I did think of well, okay, not quite this part, but coming up eventually I was thinking of Elden Ring and Melania for like the tree cocoon thing where I do like the sinewy strands from the back wall. The ones coming out of the egg though. No, I just was going with the inside of the egg for that. As if those were attached to whatever came out of the egg. Like little umbilical cords. But from an egg. And a lot of them. Yep, and then I added some goopy strands in the egg because, you know, eggs tend to be a little goopy inside. And more, it's really just doing fine detail stuff after this, well, after this backstrand stuff. I don't know how much of it really matters, but I do it. I'll know. It makes it look better overall, even if just a little. Completely unnoticeable normally. And maybe I should have connected these back sinews, like, more than just putting them behind. Maybe have them on top of the egg a little bit. Like, literally on top of and in front of the egg. Not just on top of behind, but I think it gets the point across. Especially with the sinewy stuff also coming out of the egg. I also thought it kind of looked like roots. That really has nothing to do with the design, but I just thought that. Not when I came up with the design to do them, but as I was doing them. And then more rounding of the egg. Anyway, that's all from me today. See you next Wednesday, probably. Bye, 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 bye.